It's been a year since Erik ten Hag was assigned as Man United manager, and since then, we've seen some crazy highs like the Carabao Cup win, the comebacks against City and Barca at home, the impressive undefeated streak at Old Trafford, Rashford's resurgence, the list goes on. But we've seen some low lows, the most notable of which was the thrashing at Anfield. It was a great season all in all despite some of their issues, and fans went into the season with high expectations. But this time around, second season syndrome struck. So far this season, United have been extremely boring and depressing to watch, having no clear identity, changing tactics and personnel every week. Of course, I can't blame Ten Hag for this. The injury list for United is absolutely insane. The unavailability of these players caused major issues for Ten Hag, and I don't think even he knows who will play in the next game. These injuries have hugely contributed to their severe inconsistencies, but it's not the sole reason. For me, the glaring issue at United, as it has been in the last 10 years, is personnel. I'm talking on and off the pitch. The United hierarchy from top to bottom is just rotten and unfit for a club of this size. But for the purposes of this video, we're only going to discuss United's on-pitch problems. I'm going to take a look at United's players, tactics, and what I think they should do in the coming transfer windows. This video is going to be uploaded in 2 episodes. In the first episode, we're going to discuss the players, who should stay, who should go. In the next one, we're going to discuss transfers and how United can play with these transfers. So don't miss these videos, stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and without further ado, let's get into the video. We've all seen the reports telling us that the manager has lost the dressing room, more times than not with United. It's been a problem since David Moyes took over, and it's the same thing happening now. Let's take a look at Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. These managers were the creme de la creme of their profession in their time, particularly Mourinho, and yet it was reported that these managers had lost the dressing room, and subsequently they were both sacked, and now we are seeing reports that Ten Hag has lost the dressing room. So let's take a look at the team, see who should stay and who should go. We're going to start with in goal. We don't even need to discuss this department. Both goalkeepers, Andre Onana and Atlay Bayindir, are in the matchday squad every week since they joined in the summer, so I don't have any strong feelings about them. I do have some thoughts on Onana though. I think with time, Onana will cement his place and prove his doubters wrong. One of the best goalkeepers in Europe last season over a few months is now the worst goalkeeper in Europe? I don't think so. At the time of recording, in the league, Onana is joint first for clean sheets. He's been doing well domestically, but his problems have been in the Champions League, committing a lot of errors. But with a proper defensive structure in front of him, I think we'll see his best. Bayindir will get his opportunities at some point, probably in the next few months when Onana goes to AFCON. And once that happens, we'll see how he fares in the glaring lights of Old Trafford. Let's move on to the back line. I'm going to start with the GOAT himself, Harry Maguire. Over the last few years, Maguire has been terrible for United, no doubt. And I'm all for proper criticism of players, but with Maguire, he's been abused to the ends of the earth. Every single football fan, me included, uses Maguire as a meme, as a joke for a very long time. But now, in the absence of Martinez and Varane, Maguire has stepped up. He was chosen to fill in at centre-back, both left and right, and man, he took it by the scruff, and he has been United's best and most important player this season so far. We are witnessing a prime example of professionalism and rock-hard mentality. He kept his head down, kept training well, and when he got his opportunity, he took it very well, which is the least I could say for some players. I don't see a team sheet with Maguire when he comes back from his injury, so he stays for me. Raphael Varane, a throwback to the classic defender. Varane is an amazing pure box defender, but he does not fit the bill of the modern centre-back. He's not very good on the ball, and factor in his injury issues, and he really cannot be depended upon for an extended period of time. I think Saudi clubs will be looking at him in the summer, and if they do come around, United should sell him without any reservations and upgrade in that area. Lisandro Martinez, he stays at all costs. Victor Lindelof. This guy just isn't a defender, honestly. He has no bite in his challenges, he has absolutely no willingness to make life hard for his strikers. He's not fit for this club, and he has to go, honestly. But that's all I could say for him. Let's move on to the fullbacks. Let's start with Shaw. Luke Shaw is a very confusing player. When he is on it, he's probably one of the best left backs in the world. Very technical, strong physically, and under Ten Hag, he's also been versatile, playing left centre-back. Erling Haaland was kept quiet in that game, and it was largely due to the prowess of Luke Shaw. Injuries have hindered him for United, but he's been available for decent periods in Ten Hag's tenure. A major issue with Shaw is his focus. He just clocks out at times. He completely forgets that a football game lasts 90 plus minutes, and this can be an issue, but perhaps it can be covered for. So I think he stays. Tyrell Malacia was a very good backup for Luke Shaw last season, stepping up well when Shaw was injured or playing centre-back for tactical reasons or just benched. He's not as technical as Shaw or as good on the overlap or on the attack, but he's very good physically. So far this season he's been injured, but I think when he comes back, he'll be a good depth option for United. Now the right backs. Both right backs could be upgraded on, but if one was to go, I think it should be Wan-Bissaka. He just doesn't have the technicality or the ability on the ball to play modern fullback roles. Dalot trumps him in this area. And as for Dalot, he's honestly an enigma to me. Before the World Cup in late 2022, Dalot was incredible for United, one of the best right backs in the league and even in Europe, playing an inverted fullback role from the right, performing really well. Even at the World Cup, he played ahead of Cancelo at right back, and that speaks volumes. He can also cover left back when called upon. Dalot has been atrocious at times in defense, particularly at defending the back post, but then at times he's been really good. He's honestly really confusing. Consistency is something we need to see from Dalot, and I think over time we might be able to see that. So I think he should be given a chance. He also signed a contract in the summer, so I think he stays. But Wan-Bissaka, he should go. Let's move on to the midfield. Kobbie Mainoo, what a baller. To have a player of the profile that United needed the most come through the academy, perform better than the senior midfielders in extreme atmospheres like Anfield and Goodison Park and St. James's Park. At age 18, what a baller. He is the future of United's midfield. Nothing more needs to be said. Sofyan Amrabat. Amrabat has been very good recently, but it's always going to be a question of whether or not he'll be good enough to play that single pivot role for United. Personally, I haven't seen enough, but should we give him time? I'm not sure. Either way, if his loan ends, and if United do not want to buy him, I would agree honestly. Scott McTominay. A devastating, box-crashing 8. I think Scott McTominay can be a good squad player for United. I don't think he should be a starter. I don't think he should be playing in the 6 either. I think he should be playing as kind of a box-to-box, but if good enough offers come, I think they sell him. He's an academy player, so he'll be a pure profit for United. A team I would recommend Scott McTominay to would be to West Ham. They of course wanted to sign him last season, but United declined the offer. He's a very physical player, a good specimen honestly, and I think he could be a good squad option, at least for the rest of the season. Mason Mount. I believe Mount will come good for United. His progress so far this season has been hampered by injuries and of course poor structures and tactics. But when Ten Hag inevitably finds the best structure for the team in and out of possession, I think Mount will have that left 8 role secured. Bruno Fernandes. Possibly the most disliked footballer in the world, even by his own fan base. But let's talk about his footballing ability. This guy is absolutely elite playmaking. Creates a lot of chances, plays a lot of passes, and despite not having elite finishers in front of him, he competes with the likes of KDB and his assist numbers. Let's put his whining and complaining aside for now, which is really annoying honestly, but let's put it aside for now. And let's talk about how he plays. Bruno is a very hard-working player, but he is far from a calm, composed, silky player like Odegaard is. They are actually polar opposites. To counteract his direct nature, his midfield counterparts need to have some temperament about them and make more side-to-side, tempo controlling passes, and Bruno can be the vertical passer. Hannibal Mejbri. I think Hannibal has a lot of potential. I don't think he's a ceiling raiser. I don't think he's like a groundbreaking talent like you would say Kobbie Mainoo is. I think a good loan spell would help him realize his potential, and if he's not going to make it at United, he should be sold in the summer. Isaac Hansen-Arowen. I would love to see this kid given opportunities in the first team. He's definitely outgrown youth football, and his contract is expiring later this year. I would love to see him play some games in Bruno's 8/10 hybrid role and secure his future at United with a new contract. Casemiro looked amazing last year, but his problems have been glaring this season. His physicality is gone, his legs are gone. He was never good on the ball, of course, and now with Mount coming in, Casemiro won't work in that trio with Mount and Bruno. Factor in his age, and I think he should go. And finally, let's move on to the attack. I'm going to start with Rasmus Højlund, a young up-and-coming striker that fits the modern bill of this traditional striker, so to speak. We've seen clubs move on to this type of striker, and Højlund definitely fits that bill. I think Højlund would score important goals for United this season, and with development, he can be one of the best strikers in Europe. He definitely has the potential. He needs to be coached and molded into that potential though. Currently, we're only seeing it in glimpses. We've seen him score incredible goals in the Champions League, and only on Boxing Day did he score his first Premier League goal. I think if it works out, he will be United's striker for the next decade secured. Højlund is definitely staying. Antony. He's just not good enough for this club, is he? After the money spent on him, he's been absolutely atrocious down the road. I don't think atrocious is even the right word. Maybe for the rest of the season, United can give him a chance as maybe a backup or just, a few minutes here and there. But he just is not that guy. Either way in the summer, United should sell him for a huge loss. Amad Diallo. Is he ready? Is he ready to make that right wing his? He was pretty good in the few minutes he played in pre-season, and he was really good for Sunderland on loan last season. I would love to see him play at right wing for the rest of the season. Facundo Pellistri. I think he needs a loan move away from United and maybe a permanent move to a lower Premier League club in the summer. Alejandro Garnacho. Massive talent. But is he just hype and all confidence? Or can he really back it up with performances? Consistency is something Garnacho severely lacks, but he's only 19. We cannot expect him to be a world beater at this age, but he definitely has the potential to do so. I don't think Garnacho can get dropped from this United 11 currently. He's off the back of an amazing performance against Aston Villa, scoring 2 goals, and in that game he was playing on the right wing, so with Rashford off the left, Garnacho on the right, and Højlund through the middle, I think we can see a very exciting attack. Garnacho stays. Marcus Rashford. The player who has the most dedicated fan base to his name, probably. And even those fans are starting to see that his inconsistencies are a big problem. Rashford's one-dimensionality is a big problem. Rashford, he's very good at cutting inside and shooting on his right foot. I can't really tell you who has any other significant strengths, honestly. You see modern wingers like Saka and Martinelli, they're good at both cutting in from their flanks and also providing the width on the outside. It's not exactly an everyday occurrence with Rashford. His game time is currently limited. Garnacho has been getting the lion's share of minutes on the left, and slowly, it looks like he will be the first choice at left wing. Don't get me wrong, I love Rashford. I think he's a really good player, and I really want him to succeed at this club. And he was the face of the project last season, and he was awarded with the new contract. But what happened this season? Is it a mental issue? Is he just not good enough? I don't know. It's very confusing, honestly. I hope for his sake and for United's sake that he makes it at this club. The question I want to ask you guys is, if a club like PSG or Barca come in, do United sell him? Can United upgrade on Rashford? Would you want them to upgrade on Rashford? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and like for part 2, and I'll see you guys in the next one.